Mom says no to everything? Try this one cool trick. I think this story counts as MC, though it is a bit of a flip on the usual version. This is a story from when I was 20. I had been able to study abroad for a short time. Near what was to be the end of my stay abroad, 2 friends invited me to travel with them a few extra days before heading home. I could change my plane ticket, but I would need additional money from home to do this extra trip. I knew the money itself would not be the problem, it was my mother that would be. My mother was very controlling. Everything always had to be her way. I was to do everything she expected of me, and my own ideas were always wrong. Look up OCPD if you want more info. She has an idea in her head of how things should be. And then if they are not exactly as she thought, she needs to everyone what they are doing wrong. She had initially, predictably, freaked out about my idea to study abroad at all, as she could not accept something so outside her own ideas. I've never even been there, she'd yelled. But my dad talked her into it. I knew she'd now say no to my request to do further traveling to more unknown places, and to me changing my date to return home. However, I really wanted to go. I thought about this problem for days. And then, I knew. I also had a boyfriend back home, Mark. And my mom was not a fan. Mark was a good BF to me but didn't meet my mom's standards. So I told her that my friends were going on this amazing trip and I really wanted to go. But I was feeling very conflicted because Mark was saying he had already missed me too much, and he wanted me to come home as soon as school ended so we could be back together. I didn't mention the fact I couldn't afford to go without my mom's approval. I just acted like going was something I was going to do. Except I maybe wasn't, because Mark was being very demanding about this. My mother was indignant. How dare Mark tell me what to do? That was very unthoughtful of him to try to cut short such a great experience for me to travel. A good boyfriend wouldn't do that. And it was his own problem if this makes him mad. She said I was to go on this trip, no matter what Mark said, and I could have the funds to cover those extra days. So, I complied. I used this as a kid, knowing I'd be punished, always for any and everything. I'd lie. For example, a friend's sleepover was in 2 weeks. I'd ask to go to an imaginary sleepover that week so I'd get the no. Then when I asked about the next one, I'd already suffered my punishment. Controlling parents raise manipulative liars, and it takes years of therapy to break the habit. Had a plant manager like this at work. No matter how many hours of discussions and brainstorming that took place, he would always decide that the first thing he thought of was always the way to go. A friend of mine that had to interact with him started initiating every conversation with, "You know what, Bob? You were right." Then he would present his own plan as one that Bob had suggested earlier, though of course Bob never had. Worked like a charm. Bob always went with my friend's plan. Look up OCPD. Did that. Found a robot that will kill you 10 seconds after complying. Living with your mom must have been tough. Ah yes. Strict parents who want to raise an obedience child. The best person to create manipulative and lying people. My mom always said no to absolutely everything except when she wanted to do something. Then everyone had to be on board with her plans. Just a few weeks ago, we had a bigger family party where the dress code was somewhere between fancy and business casual. I had bought a dress earlier, but on the specific day I wasn't feeling it at all. So naturally, I wanted to go with clothes that felt more comfortable, like black trousers and a nice blouse. My mom was screaming the house down that black clothes are only for funerals and I have to wear the dress. Mind you, I am 25 years old. I think I can decide for myself what I want to wear. Nice. But what happened when she confronted the BF? Or did that never happen? Brilliant. Well played. Op is essentially training her mom into desired option by providing other highly unattractive one. In contrast, this hits me with a real-world pricing tactics that Ms. lead you into making decisions. You pay X dollars for a small drink. For 50 cents extra you get a medium drink. Adding another 50 cents you get the large drink, which almost double the volume of small drink. You see where this is going. Look up OCPD if you want more info. Holy shit, this is my dad. I always suspected he had a mild case of undiagnosed OCD for a variety of reasons. But this is pretty on the nose. Suddenly a lot of things make more sense. TBH. Several of those symptoms fit me, too. But I've been able to recognize some of those behaviors and work on changing them on my own. Back in the day I broke up with a boyfriend who wanted to marry me because he always had to be. Managed to get to where I wanted to be. The day I accepted a party invitation for us from friends and he blew up when I told him about it. How dare I accept for us? We were otherwise just hanging out. I said that was it. Tonight was the last date we'd ever have. Life was so much less stressful after that. Edit. If our friend had gotten to him first, he would have accepted for both of us. It was only me who wasn't allowed to accept for both. It's like managing a little kid. Falsely giving them only two options and they don't think outside the box enough to suggest a third option. You had already mastered this skill at age 20? Question mark. Uno reverse psychology to her. Seems more like R, creative compliance. Reverse psychology. Don't do it too often though. My ex used to do this all the time and her entire family ended up hating me because apparently I never let her do something she wanted. I'm going to take your advice and try this cool trick. I'll need contact info for Mark and your mother. How much money should I say I need for this trip? Quote. Poor Mark. You made it her idea instead of yours, and it worked a treat. I can't help but feel sorry for Mark, who was just casually thrown under the bus. Your mom isn't going to like him at all anymore.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.